everyone. Paulie just turned to me and he says, that reminds me of being second best.
Come on, when they stick you in like the 13 milliseconds at the end of the credits.
We had to share credits.
Invocal.
We had to share dressing room. We shared socks. I'd get the left one, you'd get the right one.
We share a lot of things and have over a decade.
Oh, good Lord. Near a decade and a half, my friend.
Oh,
jeez.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to have our original hips?
What is this?
That's, I think it's Garrett's.
This is Power Rangers' wallet. Yeah. You know what we're doing tonight, people? We're in the limo, we're going to Hollywood, and we're doing it on Deborah Goldblatt's gold card. Hey, Deborah, come get your wallet, will you?
No, Matt Sadowski's.
Hey, wait a minute. This person is an identity thief.
When Hope and Skull get together, things get broken and stolen. That's the way it goes.
Hey, you guys, thanks for coming out to the panel. We call this a panel jacking. Because I was on an airplane from New York yesterday, we couldn't do the 1 o'clock thing as scheduled. So we decided to kill the other people that had the panel at this time slot.
Hence, Garrett, not anymore. Now I'm Paul Schreier. Wait a minute. Those of you who were at the Bulk and Skull panel yesterday saw his bulk. You may have just noticed the way Paulie and I kind of did this sort of look over at the side. No practice required at this point anymore, whatsoever.
Did he bring that up during that panel?
Yeah!
You know, Narvi is an educator these days, working on his doctorate at UCSB. Please don't go and find him. You'll never be able to track him down up there. But I had the pleasure of sitting in on one of his acting classes, and he used that very same thing as a what do you call that? Like a prop. He used that as a... No, that's my wallet, actually. My name's Deborah Goldblatt. Poor Deborah. So yeah, I've heard him use that before. But the moral of the story is, it's a good bit, and it's a useful illustration of the timing that we worked out together that you guys see all the time in the show. You know, all the stuff that they put sound effects on. You know, that's all stuff that we work out, you know, before they actually roll the cameras during rehearsals. I mean, we're working out the comedy timing of every bit, really like a dance, like a ballet. I mean, you have to block it out like that, because how else could we go, you know, at the same time without really working it out. So there's a lot of cues that we learned back and forth. Like, what was your least favorite cue that we used to give each other?
My least favorite was usually when you just went, cue! Because I had 1 second before something bad was going to happen. Cue!
All right, there were a lot of kinds of cues that we used. One of them was a breath cue, where we would come up with a specified number of beats in between, kind of an audible gasp. So I would go, and then beat, and then we would fall or get hit by cement or whatever. There was also tap cues, where we would, off camera, we would like tap each other to let each other know when we were doing certain stuff. Like if we had to like react really strongly, like to off camera, we'd be, you know, tap, and then we go. So, you know, over the years you work together, and you kind of develop a repertoire of physical comedy gags. And I mean, face it, the fat guy and the skinny guy is not a new thing, right? Yeah, exactly. So there's a really strong legacy of physical humor that we're very, very proud to have been the benefactors of on our side.
You know, my favorite one was, though, because we as Paulie's kind of hit the end, we kind of came up with an entire vernacular of the way we did it. Okay, we're gonna woogity over here. Show of hands, who knows how to woogity? I didn't think so. That meant you go over that way in a wacky manner. But one of my favorites was the giant banana. You know the giant banana, Paul? it's when a giant banana seems to be descending from somewhere way the hell down there. And you have a moment of, what the heck is that? And then when you realize, there's a giant freaking banana, it's coming right at us.
Usually the giant banana is above the camera. So we never got the opportunity to actually get a real giant banana, because it was a low-budget show. Now, if it was a big studio, they would have actually gotten us a real giant banana.
Because those exist. There was also if one of us was going to laugh. This is Paulie's doing, actually. He'd say, think of old nuns and dead puppies. I dare you to laugh at that. But then we did. And so then we had to think of dead nuns and old puppies.
Thanks for the memories. The good and the bad we had. So, obviously, not cracking up, is a major problem when you're acting for the camera. Your primary problem when you're performing is fear. Once you conquer your fear as a performer, then you've got it made, except for that whole busting up while you're acting thing. Because, fear is the mind killer, right? Fear, grabs your heart and, squeezes it, and you can't do anything. But once you get past that major obstacle, not losing your lunch while you're working is the biggest problem, especially working with a guy with a face like this, because look at that nose, look at that thing.
I was telling
man.
I apologize for any of you who have heard this one before, but I was telling about the time one day I look in the corner of my eye, we're getting ready to go, and I see this in the corner of my eye. Damn, you're ugly. And you're so funny looking. You're just gonna get uglier and funnier. And that Jewish nose of you. Look, gotta go.
Oh yeah, so there was a good bit of buffoonery in our lives, because ultimately cracking each other up is the funnest thing for us, working as actors together. Besides doing great work, which we always did on the first or second take, the third and fourth take for us was always stupidity, And we often got in trouble on set because we would change everything. And we wouldn't go where we were supposed to go, we wouldn't say what we were supposed to say, we would curse, we would pull strange props out of our pockets and just react and throw them. Has anyone ever seen the super top secret gag reel? No, the studio gag reel? Yeah, there's a really...
Super top secret.
What? Because it's kind of blue. Yeah. Huh? No, take 10 years worth of bloopers and put it on one reel. It's kind of like that old voice recording audio gag reel that is floating around town. The one that has Orson Welles and Will Shatner. Anybody ever heard that? Yeah, that's pretty funny. You guys got to get that. If you can tell me how to emphasize the word in the phrase "in July," here's this joke.
Do you take questions?
Yeah, who's got questions? All right, you, man. Yeah.
I wanted to know the whole part of the season when Vulcan Skull were actually turned into monkeys. Where were you guys at the time when you were just doing voices, as the monkeys? What else were you doing besides that?
Well, I was directing the show. And Narvi was... What were you doing? Take a cup! Nothing happened! Come to my level. What? I don't know. Ask Jason, what was he doing during the monkey time?
Seething. I'm a monkey. For God's sake. So we were preparing Hamlet at that point. And Paulie and I were doing tag team producing. It was the first time I ever produced anything. And we're way over our heads.
And budget.
I'll put it this. Let me tell you how much we spent. We did Hamlet in Simi Valley. And I told you we had done a couple of those. And Simi Valley is a suburb of Los Angeles, okay? LA, not quite known for its love of Shakespeare. Not quite known for its love of theater. Not quite known for much. Then go to the suburbs, which is known even less for that sort of thing. And we say, oh, sweet, there's a brand new theater. Let's dump thousands of dollars into a production of Hamlet. And some nights we had 2 people in the audience. We lost so much money on that show, tax refund from that year, because it's all tax deductible if you're an actor and you're doing a theater project. Tax refund funded my first year of college. That's how much money we lost on that show. It was a great production though, man. It was a really good show.
So, I mean, in between that, and there was some very brief talk during that time about the spin-off, the Vulcan Skull Show, which unfortunately never happened because of some poor demographic testing. Well, I mean, you know, face it, yeah, you'd think today, like, wow, that would have been cool, and it would have been. It would have been funny. But ultimately, the Ranger Show is an action-adventure show. The comic stuff that Vulcan Skull brought to the show, as wonderful as it was, really wouldn't stand alone and be able to garner the same viewership as a show with much butt kicking, you know?
Yeah, but they could have at least done a mini-series. Like the Green Ranger series, just like 5 days in life.
Yeah, but you know, you still have the same problem, ultimately, which is, you know, the affiliates will be like, oh yeah, that mini-series where there's no kung fu, just a lot of cakes. We don't want that. Yeah, I mean, so it's a valid point. Although, you know, in our minds, we had a big spin-off. I mean, we viewed every bit that we had on the show as a completely separate universe from the Ranger Show. And you can tell when we're working and when you see us on camera that we're really committed to making our moments really stand on their own. And we were really annoyed when we had to work with the other actors too, because they're like totally like, God rest your soul, Twee Twang. Twee Twang. Twee. She was not a comedian. She was
Sweetest girl in the world.
Serious dramatic actress, seriously. So when I would say, Twee, hey, can we like do kind of like a wacky woogada? And then I would like woogada you over here, and she would look at me like, don't direct me. I was like, that's just a suggestion, Twee. So we would do it anyway, and she would just be like, nothing.
Like, not going to give it
She
your
wouldn't give us
shenanigans.
anything. Nothing. She wouldn't give us the thing. Anyway, we loved Twee.
Okay, how'd you guys enjoy the Doomsday episode when you got to pilot the Megazord?
I've got that question a lot.
That was the rap episode right before Christmas.
Oh, that's right. It was Christmas Eve we were doing that. Christmas Eve we were doing that.
So the crew was unhappy.
I forgot about that. That's right, because I had told a lot of people that was the first time that we actually built a Megazord. That was the first time the American crew had a Megazord. We got to pilot it. And we were really excited about it, about the script of it. And then because it was Christmas, we had worked all the way up through Christmas. And it was coming back from our first break ever. So we were just eager to get our first paychecks and do our Christmas shopping. And that particular night went on until like 10 o'clock at night. So we did, like that year, so we got Walmart stuff, because Walmart's open 24 hours, you know. Here's a toilet seat. Thanks.
Merry Christmas, Ma. I'm an actor. I make money, see?
I forgot about that.
I mean, I loved it, although we weren't really allowed to touch anything in the cockpit because it was very, very freshly painted and was going to fall apart.
The entire set was made of Cheese Whiz, by the way.
And cardboard.
Cheese Whiz and cardboard.
Cheese Whiz and cardboard, you know, when viewed as a layered media, is actually quite strong, and they use it in the space shuttle. They do. They do.
Let's get this one and then that one.
Obviously, my favorite episode of Vulcan Skull is when it's where you're not afraid. Do you guys have a favorite episode? It's where you guys say the Rangers.
Oh, yeah. That
Well, I liked having a girlfriend. That one episode. But I think for me, a countdown to destruction. Yeah, because we got to kick ass. We did. We got to hurt cogs. We got to kick cog.
That was cool. I like the Western episode just because it was fun to
Totally.
shoot. That was a blast. We got to have these mules that hated us. And if you watch the footage, you'll think it's a stuntman. But at one point, Paulie and I ride off in the distance, and they put it in fast motion because these little teeny donkeys could not get up to speed. I got that sucker going by laying a spur into him. Until he decided he didn't like it. Then he spins 3 times in the air and tries to chuck me off. But we're way the hell off in the distance, and they just so happen to cut away for a second, and then cut back so everyone thinks that they put a stuntman in. I'm like, no! I was the almost dead guy! Remember that?
You know, we did all of our own stunts on the show for a very long time until they did the feature film in Australia. And then somebody realized they might not want to break us because we had to be in the movie. So from then on, we had Ed Neal posing as me and doing all kinds of crazy falls in a fat suit. And the days of us having to roll down hills in 50-gallon trash cans were over.
Well, yeah, that's kind of funny, too, when you think about it. Why do they even need to put a person in that trash can? Why couldn't they just put a dummy? They did, Ed. I'm saying that because Ed's not here. He would kill me. I love Ed.
Hey, buddy, in the back with your hand up. What's up?
Now, I know that in Countdown to Destruction, they reveal and also like the space station.
Right. Them.
In like say continuity, do they ever learn the identity of the original Rangers with the exception of Black Widow?
Well, guys, you know, I think universal logic and continuity of place and time is something that you know you can't expect from this universe. So ultimately, anytime you ask me one of those questions, it's like you're saying Cleveland or pineapple. Because there's no context to that question. Did they? No. You know they didn't. And that's kind of a bummer. Like, I think maybe with a little bit more work, it would have been really easy to sew the universe together, at least in a real kind of cursory kind of fashion, so that it made a little bit more sense. I mean, didn't we have this conversation in New York during your No String Pandex? Yeah, we did. So you can just listen to her blog, her old audio blog, and you can get the answer to that question. The second part, sorry.
Just a real quick one. If they never learned the identity of the original, why was Untitled with so much respect and forever read by his characters? True. You guys were great.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It's a good point.
Bowing and scraping, that's right.
I remember that one. That was...
Well, and part of it, I think, was on the day. They ended up running short. There was extra dialogue, and they just cut it so that we just gave him the phone like these subservient, kind of servants, and, just get in, get out, give him the damn phone, get off the street.
I think the treatment of the Tommy character with respect is a direct result of the fans and the public totally digging the Green Ranger. And then and when you love a character, you love him even if he's white or green or whatever. And so really having him come back, I mean, it's that because he was a really iconic character for the time that he was on the series. So it's not really, he's not special. Although he does fight real good. No, it's not true. Jason's a dear friend of mine. Absolutely does not. No.
He's one of the funniest. I mean,
No, he
he's
does
a
not.
funny guy. That guy, he is.
Look, that's honestly, the when people say that JDF is unapproachable and that he has an ego, it's a result of people not really knowing the person. Because I know the man really, really well. I know his wife. I've known his family, and he's a dear heart. He just wasn't an actor. He wasn't, and he'll even tell you, he's like, I'm not an actor. And so when we all worked together to kind of put the show together, in the very beginning, man, he was really totally freaking out. You guys, wouldn't you? How you've never acted? Okay, you're on camera. Okay, action. So, like, if you perceive any, like, quiet stuff about him, it's that he's really wanting to make sure he doesn't go, because he's a leading man, You can't do that stuff when you're a leading man. When you're like a lead actor, you got to play it straight. You can't just randomly look like him.
This reminds me of a time
He wants to hit me right now so bad.
we went through a phase for about, 2 years, where every time we're sitting backstage, rolling, quiet please, quiet on the set, rolling, 4, 3, take 2, and bam, 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 action. The ones would be like, oh. They're rolling. No, if you want to really know Jason Frank, there's one episode we did a couple of years ago where he's like he I don't know, some monster got it so that he wanted to eat all the time. You guys remember this episode? Yeah. That's Jason Frank. That is Jason Frank. Not that he wants to eat all the time, but that was Jason Frank at his goofiest, and that's the one time on the show. Remember I told you, as a bad guy, you can get away with anything. As a good guy, you say the wrong thing, you move the wrong way, you destroy the fragile universe. That is Jason Frank. That is him. I would say. So,
You know, he and I spoke a couple days ago, and there's a really good reason why he's not here at the convention. He absolutely wanted to come, but he's doing a kickboxing match in San Francisco this weekend. He sent me a picture by email. You guys do, you know that Muay Thai, that style? Right. Yeah. There's a picture Jay sent me of him in the ring, and it was like a free style fight. And this Muay Thai guy's got like these pink ribbons on his arms, and he's getting punched in the face, and the guy's all, and Jason Frank just like, and Jason sent me the picture, and I was like, that's cool. Do you have any pictures of you getting beaten? He's all, no. So he definitely wishes he could be here. Believe me, he's really bummed that he couldn't be here. Wow. Actually, you got to watch out, man. Austin has a plug. If you pull it, he'll just blow away. Sorry, that was an Elvis reference. Look at Elvis Red Radio. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm an EMT firefighter. Okay. Somebody get him in here. Let's arm wrestle. Okay, yeah.
Ma'am, please, just children.
Okay, if you guys could have been Power Rangers.
No, we're listening. The loud, the loud. Come on, do it. He swore he wouldn't do it. All right, I'm sorry. Oh, God, I'm killing myself.
Two-parter. Out of the seasons that you were a part of, which one was your favorite?
Punks.
Yeah, the first up ones.
Yeah, punks.
The other part is, if you could be any color ranger, what would it be?
You know, I've often said that. You know, I wouldn't want to be any of the existing characters, but I often thought that a fitting denouement to our characters would have been for them to actually become real superheroes and get led into the inner sanctum. You know, because you still would have been able to have the comedy. It just would have been in the command center. You know, like. And I think that would have been cool, but it kind of did, you know, violate that one of the very few tenets the show actually had. And that was that there was a separation between them and us.
What colors would you have been?
Oh, wow.
I kind of like the color of the carpet.
I don't know. For me, black leather. And Darby would have been like leopard skin.
Yeah, it would be the gayest looking ranger.
And he means happy. You know, like a happy ranger. Happy.
Like smiley face helmet.
What's up, man?
Could you read the Guardians and have down
Oh, man. You mean like right now, like reenact it? Oh, man. You know, I watched that just the other night, actually. And that's a cool episode, but there is no way that I'm going to reenact that moment for you. You want to arm wrestle? Come on up here. Somebody give him a sandwich on the way. No, you're on this side. Come on over. Everyone gets a look at your backside. No, all right. Come on, let's go. Run check. Hey.
Arm wrestle. Hey. On three, gentlemen. I want it clean. I want it above the waist. Paulie, above the waist. Hey! Hi! Hey! Drown water at a Power Ranger convention. There's some dignity for you.
It's raining men. Hallelujah.
So your guys' look, it seems a lot like the show. I mean, when you guys were auditioning, they're like, I want something like this, I want something like that. You look at this, you know, the show, but you guys,
Yeah. Well, to make a long story short, we got along very well with the wardrobe mistress the first season, and who also liked the punk Vulcan skull. And basically, she gave us a check and sent us off into Hollywood, and we got our own stuff for the first season. It became tradition. I mean, we got to a point where they were able to figure out what our tastes were and bring us a whole slew of stuff and trust us to rip it, spray paint it, safety pin it, add stuff, steal stuff from other costumes, stick it on. So it became a morning routine, really.
A little less for me because I'm a big guy, in case you hadn't noticed. It was a little harder to shop for me. Because, finding stuff that was like edgy and cool in a 4X is not easy. Narvi got to shop a lot easier here, but I had to go to all these crazy like Canadian hunting stores and stuff to find my clothes.
We were not shopping for costumes at this point, but I remember Christmas of the first year. Power Rangers, we all got our Christmas bonuses. We're all going shopping. Woo! Power Rangers got cars, we got suits. But I remember going to a big and tall shop with Paulie. We walk in, first thing they say is they look at Paulie and go, "Hey, what's with a skinny guy?"
Yeah, it was great. Hilarious. Yeah, well, in case any of you skinny people, yes, there is a fat guy mafia. And if you cross us, we will find you.
Let's get this guy over here and then this one over here.
David totally stole some clothing from Jason. But no, those guys are both excellent actors. They absolutely didn't need any help from us. Nah, no worries.
AJ had a field day with that one. She loved it.
Yeah, she was the bad girl that day. Yes, we all enjoyed it very much.
Not me. She was starting to creep me out. Do you remember? She was legitimately trying to make me feel uncomfortable.
Because she's method, and she did make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, she really did.
She's a good actress.
Did you guys ever go on the command center or power chamber sets?
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
Not our characters.
No, never. No, not on camera. But I mean, the set is, like I got to go to the bathroom. I'm walking across the command center. The bathroom's right there.
Just go past Zilner and you'll make it.
There's somewhere there's some whole movies of us that we took and screwed around in there, I'm sure. But after a while, it's just like, oh, it's the command center. Let's go. Yeah, right over here.
Do you think Vulcan Skull would do more damage to the command center than either of these did?
Oh God, yeah, we could screw up an empty room.
I don't know, man. Avenues is dangerous. Like blew everything up. Okay, yeah, we could.
Do you think they'd be able to blow up the command center like Gold
Ask that question again.
Do you think Vulcan Skull would be able to blow up the command center like the bad guys do?
Didn't you ask that question just now?
No, that's just destroying it on the inside. I mean, like.
That's lame.
Oh, he's trying on the inside. Like it's a sense of self-esteem.
You're the stupidest command center I've ever seen. Rangers, Bulk is making me feel better. Does this bird center make my head look fat?
I swear to God, you know when Zordon died in the movie? I so wanted them to do like that Pac-Man thing at the very end, like. But they would never go for it. And then he like jumps out of the tube and he's all. All right, who's next? How about you, man? How about you? You're next after. Go on.
Speaking of giant bananas, we constantly be at the Big Explosion Command Center. You guys have probably dealt with the monster suits way more than the regular hero actors. So I really got to know, for you guys, what were the most ridiculous monsters you had to work with?
Of the ones where the guy was in the most pain or suffered, the worst. I mean, face it, all those suits were used the year before or the year even double before in Japan. So they had some nasty Japanese funk on them. And then they put them in a crate and they sent them to us. And I was there a few times when they opened the crates and it was like everyone just went, oh! Remember when they opened the Ark at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark? Oh! That was pretty much it. I think the worst one that I ever saw, honestly, was one of the really early ones because it was so nasty. It was Eye Guy. Eye Guy, because it was a big suit. I mean, that's the thing. The bigger the suit, the more foam there is, the more funkerific it is. Yep, nasty. How about you, pal?
I have to know, how much do you guys think Vulcan's skull would cause Alpha 5 to become traumatized?
Yeah, I did that. Okay, we had 3 Alpha 5s, I think, during the course of the series. In the middle one, Deneen was my girlfriend. So I absolutely traumatized the heck out of Alpha 5. Yeah, it was a very, very bad robot relationship. Her batteries ran out, Okay, so this is the inside joke laugh right here where there's like a pregnant elephant in front of us of an inside joke that we can't talk about because it's nasty. And it's dirty. So we're not going to say those things to you. Because we have respect for all the young children. Get rid of them. Get rid of the kids. Yeah, we'll do the adult panel later. Okay, now this is the weird thing about this show, you guys. Look, you people have all grown up. Look, when I started this job, it was a 7-year-old. And you can't say, hey, Joe 7-year-old, beat it. Because Joe 7-year-old grows up and wants to go on top of the bell tower with a rifle because Bulk was a jerk. So now you're all 20, right? I'm glad you all grew up. You're much funner to be around now. It's true. I love kids. I do. But there's a certain point where you can't, tell a really funny joke, so.
You like them all when they're our age.
I like you all right the way you are today. Because we have some fans that are older than me here today. And I'm really happy to see them out as well, which is cool. Hey, you see that guy that's doing the Jesus Christ costume in the back there? That's Scott Zilner. Everybody say hi, Scott. Hey, Scott. Hey, you guys, Scott's got some awesome signed props. If you want to pay too much money, go visit him. But they are real. I can attest to the provenance of the items. Ooh. Let's get the guy in the red shirt with the goatee.
So we were talking about Australia and ridiculous things. What was your reaction, Paul, when they said you were going to play Ben Franklin?
Oh, yeah. I think did I play Ben Franklin? You were like Uncle Ben. Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's when I started directing during those shoots. Right. That was Paulie's idea to do the Ben thing, I think. I mean, that was a real kind of last minute scamper. Let's come up with a script. They flew Tony Oliver out. And yeah. Tony was found this location accidentally, and which was old Sydney town, and the American colonial period coincides exactly with the Australians. So it was very easy to take old Sydney town and make it old.
Oh, you mean it's the colonial period?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'll be right there.
It coincided perfectly with the American colonial period.
Well, so therefore we
This guy's college educated. He's gonna have his doctorate. Dr. Narvi for real.
Yeah, too much education. So anyway, so we saw what we had available, and we built stories around it, and everyone had an opportunity to throw ideas at Tony. Paulie in particular was very close with Tony and said, "Hey, why don't we try this?" You know, and I did the similar thing with the skull as a little militant, so and so. So how about you, Matt?
I was just wondering, you know how Stanley has done this Who Wants to Be a Superhero concept for the last couple of months?
Yeah.
I think it would be awesome if they put together some of the greatest sidekicks and the comic relief of all time to try and do Who Wants to Be a Sidekick for one of our stuff and everything. Would you guys actually be interested in doing that?
Wow, the problem with most of them is they're dead.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
One's still
that's kind of a problem. So fortunately, I'm not dead. So I'm always interested in. Hey, anybody see that 3-6 Mafia that I was on? That Adventures in Hollywood? Yeah, take a look. Go on the MTV website. You got to check that out. It's really hilarious. I don't say a word. I'm totally like undercover. Yeah.
Alright, I was just wondering, since you explained the origin of the laugh yesterday, and since I've seen it, is it more like the actual laugh, or is it more like...
That's pretty good. The laugh is kind of the last vestige of Narvi's pre-pubescence. Because there was a point on set where he tried to do the laugh and he couldn't do it. And he was like, and he realized that he had grown up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, it took technique. And then it's
Happy birthday, man!
Where? Oh.
Happy birthday. It's yours. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Yeah, you. It's your birthday, isn't it? No, not yours. The gentleman right behind you. Raise your hand. It's your birthday today. Can we give this guy a round of applause? It's his birthday. And he drove here from New York. New York City. I flew over them while they were driving. I flew over. Anybody else have a birthday this week? No? That's statistically impossible.
Okay, there's someone in an orange shirt that kept putting her.
You guys make your appearance there on Forever Red, and that was a couple years after you both stopped being on the show. So I met the story behind you giving a call and somehow scrambling from your college team.
College team. Yeah, that was weird because it was really odd because I had started college and hadn't finished Power Rangers. I drove to college with all my junk in a van, dropped it off in my dorm room, and flew back to LA to finish Power Rangers. So my roommate shows up the first day and there's all my stuff. And I'm nowhere to be found. So should I call the cops? But of course, as soon as Power Rangers is done, I get a call to do Power Rangers again. So it bookended my college career. It was weird. I come back, people I don't recognize. They look at me, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you? So it was very, very odd.
And it was a little bit odder for me because I was actually working in the camera department at Walt Disney Feature Animation at that time. When I left the show, while directing some Hello Kitty cartoons. It's manly. Some serious testosterone going on in that Sanrio stuff. Besides trying to instill underlying violent themes in Hello Kitty, I was working at Feature Animation as a camera assistant. I was the guy to go get film and load the cameras, and I worked on Atlantis and Home on the Range. I'm credited on a couple of those too, like Treasure Planet. And, so it was odd because I got the call at Disney, and then of course I think that was right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Disney had acquired the show right about that time, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was odd. It was like, hi, you own me. And you own me. Can I have a day off to go do your TV show? It's pretty funny.
Anyone else? Right over there.
Tell Kim not to call me while I'm in the panel, will you?
Okay, I'm sorry. Ask your question again. Oh, there's so many. Was it? I don't know.
There was a scene where we were like underwater in a lake, and it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and we had to like duck underwater repeatedly, and so they put us in wetsuits. A wetsuit for a guy my size.
Wow.
Yeah, it basically, rubber has a memory, and when you put a guy my size in a wetsuit, you just instantly go. And so I couldn't like bend my arms or anything, and my arms kept like going. So I think that's about the most uncomfortable I was, because I really couldn't do anything. I was just like floating. I was like, get me out of this thing.
God, I feel like there's several things that every time they put it in our dressing room, we'd be like, oh, I hate that. That's gonna hurt for 12 hours today. Although I still think in a different kind of uncomfortable way was the princess outfit with the full-blown wig.
Hot, totally hot.
That was uncomfortable, but different reasons.
I broke the tail on that costume.
Oh yeah.
It was metal, and it like snapped when I fell down or something. So like you can actually see it in the later shots. It's all like broken. And poor Mark, the prop guy, was like, I can't fix that, man. I need like a welder.
I have full confidence in our ability to break any prop built by any prop man in the entire industry.
Yeah.
Before the first take.
We often did try to break things because it was fun.
It was a lot of fun to watch Mark go, oh, you son of a...
Go ahead, in the bandana. What's up?
I was wondering, how did Morphin Skull meet?
You mean in Fantasyland?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know. Narby's an actor guy. Why don't you refresh them as to our early Stanislavskian preparation?
Well, see, back when Bulk and Skull were children, they found themselves together. No, I don't think there is a backstory. I think they knew each other since they were kids, didn't they?
Yeah, the only thing that we developed as we started was that we were childhood friends, and that we were so weird nobody else would talk to us, and that's why we were together. So that's why it was very like macrocosmic, these two characters, like they didn't need anyone else. They didn't ever really want anyone else. That's why they were so angry at everyone all the time,
Yeah.
You mentioned the focus on each other with the kids. That reminds me, I wanted to ask before, the episode when all the Rangers, everybody on the road was turned into children. The kid actors they used to play Bulk and Skull, did you guys have to train or did they come in with their own thing?
No, we absolutely worked with them. In fact, I directed one of those episodes. So,
well, I didn't work with them really much at all. You did.
Oh,
I met him like once or twice.
I made him you.
Yeah, that was the funniest thing. So I get to watch Paul's opinion of me.
As portrayed by some kid. Okay, we have one more question, and then we have a brief statement, also known as a manifesto, and then we'll say good day.
There's a little kid over there.
Hey, little guy. Oh, you're actually like 43, right? 12. Hey, right on, man. Yeah. And next. If I can like make my own show right now? I'd tell you what I'd like to do. I'd like to bring back your original Ranger cast and do a feature film. That's what I'd like to do. Before we're all too bald.
Too late.
Or before Austin goes.
Who would you use as Yellow Ranger? The original
ready for the pilot.
Yeah, we'll have to go to Colorado and get that original girl from the demo. Yeah. Audrey. She's very dangerous.
Well, I guess
Good
we
fighter.
wrap it up.
Yeah, guys, look, thanks for coming to the panel. You know, over the years, we've all had a great time enjoying this really, really interesting pop culture phenomenon here in this country. Of course, we have the Japanese to thank for that. And really, we have a particularly American ethic which made room for the characters of Vulcan Skull in a series that in Japan didn't have our characters. So it was a real honor and a real pleasure to perform for all of you for all of those years. And thanks for watching.